The history of the modern world is not written in the dust of the earth, but in the salt of the sea. For over a century, the global order has been anchored by a single undeniable reality: the absolute and unrivaled hegemony of the United States Navy. It is a force that does not merely defend a nation, but guarantees the very concept of global commerce, ensuring that the arteries of international trade remain open and free from the whims of regional tyrants. Today, a new narrative is being pushed by headlines across the globe: the rise of the People's Liberation Army Navy, or the Plan. We are told of a massive buildup, of a hull count that now exceeds our own, and of a dragon that is finally ready to claim the Pacific. But to the seasoned strategist and the student of naval history, these numbers are a shallow metric that masks a much deeper and more profound failure in Chinese strategy. China's naval expansion is not an evolution toward global leadership, but a desperate, boxed-in reaction to an American naval architecture that is as much about geography and experience as it is about steel and gunpowder. While Beijing counts its corvettes and coastal frigates, the United States commands the depths of the blue water, operating with a level of sophistication and reach that remains, and will remain, decades beyond the grasp of the Chinese Communist Party. To understand why China's naval strategy is failing, one must look past the propaganda and into the cold, hard mechanics of maritime power. The ocean is an unforgiving arbiter, and it does not reward those who merely build ships. It rewards those who have mastered the art of commanding the waves across vast, intercontinental distances. The fundamental flaw in the hull count argument is the failure to distinguish between coastal defense and global power projection. China may have more ships by sheer number, but when you look at tonnage, the actual measure of a ship's capability and endurance, the United States Navy remains in a league of its own. A single American Nimitz or Gerald R. Ford-class aircraft carrier represents more combat power than the entire surface fleets of most nations combined. These are not just ships. They are floating American territories, capable of launching a sophisticated air wing of F-35s and F divided by a -18s that can strike targets deep inland while remaining safely at sea. China's carriers, like the Liaoning and the Shandong, are fundamentally limited by their antiquated ski jump designs and conventional propulsion systems, which restrict the weight and fuel capacity of the aircraft they carry. They are training platforms useful for regional posturing, but they lack the catastrophic strike capability of the American supercarrier. Furthermore, the United States Navy operates a fleet of 11 of these behemoths, supported by an auxiliary fleet that has mastered the impossible art of underway replenishment. This allows an American strike group to remain on station for months at a time, thousands of miles from the nearest friendly port. This is a level of logistics that the plan has yet to demonstrate. A navy that cannot sustain itself in the middle of the Pacific is not a global navy. It is a coastal guard with aspirations it cannot fulfill. The American Carrier Strike Group is the ultimate deterrent because it is a mobile, indestructible fortress that ensures wherever there is deep water, there is American sovereign interest. Beyond the steel, there is the inescapable reality of geography. China is a nation that is geographically suffocated. Every ship that leaves a Chinese port must pass through narrow choke points that are dominated by American allies. This is the First Island Chain, a natural barrier of islands stretching from Japan through Taiwan to the Philippines and down to Indonesia. In any conflict, the United States and its partners can effectively cork the bottle, trapping the Chinese fleet within the marginal seas where they are vulnerable to land-based and sea-based assets. China's naval strategy of anti-access/area denial is, at its heart, a defensive strategy. It is the admission that they cannot win in the open ocean. They are building a navy to keep the Americans out, while the United States has already built a navy that is everywhere. While China tries to secure its immediate perimeter, the U.S. Navy operates freely in the Second Island Chain, and beyond, maintaining bases in Guam and Hawaii that serve as unsinkable aircraft carriers. We have the home field advantage in every ocean because we have spent 80 years building a network of trust and mutual defense with nations that fear Chinese expansionism. Geography is the one thing the CCP cannot subsidize or build out of concrete. As long as the United States maintains its alliances with Japan, Australia, and the United Kingdom through agreements like AUKUS, the Pacific remains an American lake, and China's naval ambitions remain tethered to its own shoreline. While the world focuses on what is visible on the surface, the true master of the maritime domain resides in the shadows of the deep. The American submarine fleet is the silent, invisible backbone of our national security, and it is here that the technological gap between the US and China is most staggering. Every single submarine in the United States Navy is nuclear-powered, granting them unlimited range and the ability to stay submerged for as long as the crew has food. China, by contrast, relies heavily on diesel-electric submarines that must eventually surface or snorkel, making them easy prey for American anti-submarine warfare assets. But the real advantage is acoustics. American Virginia and Seawolf-class submarines are the quietest machines ever built by man. They are the black holes of the ocean. Chinese submarines, despite recent improvements, remain significantly noisier, making them detectable long before they can pose a threat. In a high-end conflict, American submarines would operate with impunity within the South China Sea, picking off planned surface ships and ballistic missile submarines before they even knew they were being hunted. This subsurface moat is perhaps the greatest failure of Chinese naval planning. They have focused on building large visible surface targets while the United States has perfected the art of the invisible strike. The silent service ensures that no matter how many hulls China puts in the water, they will never truly own the sea because they will never be alone in it. There is a quality of power that cannot be measured in blueprints or factory output, and that is the culture of command. The United States Navy has been the dominant maritime force since the end of World War II. Our officers and sailors possess a multi-generational lineage of combat experience, operational expertise, and a decentralized command structure that encourages initiative and rapid decision-making. We have fought in every climate, from the freezing North Atlantic to the humid tropics of the South Pacific. We have mastered the coordination of complex, multi-domain operations involving thousands of personnel and hundreds of assets. China, however, has not fought a major naval engagement in over a century. Their command structure remains rigid, top-down, and ideologically driven, which is a recipe for disaster in the fluid, chaotic environment of modern naval warfare. You cannot buy experience, and you cannot fast-track the institutional wisdom required to manage a global fleet. Every time an American destroyer conducts a freedom of navigation operation, it is practicing the muscle memory of hegemony. The plan is a green-water navy trying to learn blue-water habits, but they are doing so under the watchful eye of the undisputed masters of the craft. In the heat of battle, it is the side that can adapt the fastest that wins, and history has shown that the American sailor is the most adaptable and resilient warrior on the face of the earth. As we look to the future, the narrative of American decline at sea is revealed to be a fundamental misunderstanding of what maritime power actually is. The United States is not just maintaining its lead, it is accelerating it through the integration of unmanned systems, hypersonic defense, and directed energy weapons. We are evolving faster than China can copy. The American naval strategy is failing China because it has forced Beijing into an arms race they cannot win without bankrupting their fragile economy, while the US leverages its global network of innovation and wealth. The oceans are the great connectors of the human race, and for as long as they remain free, it will be because the United States Navy stands watch. The spirit of the 13 original colonies, born on the water and tempered by the fires of global conflict, lives on in every hull that flies the stars and stripes. We do not fear the numbers. We trust in our technology, our geography, and most importantly, our people. The Pacific is wide, but it is not wide enough for two masters, and the world knows which flag represents stability, prosperity, and the rule of law. The Silicon Fortress on land is mirrored by the Steel Fortress at sea. The American brief remains clear. We are the guardians of the commons, the protectors of the weak, and the unrivaled masters of the world's oceans. Our legacy is secure, and our future is as vast as the sea itself. Thank you for joining us for this briefing. For our history and the defense of the West, we remain the vanguard. God bless the United States Navy and God bless America.